Hello, good morning, and welcome to CosmoQuest. Welcome to Community Coffee. I am your host, Gillian Rhodes. You haven't seen me in a long time. I have never seen you, but now I am seeing the computer screen with you guys on your chat for the first time in a long time. It has been almost a month since I have hosted this program. And I'm happy to be back. I was away on the other side of the world visiting family, and now I've come back to where I actually live. And I got back last week, which you would think is enough time to be a human again, but it is not, because I'm literally on the opposite side of the world. It's a 12-hour time difference, and it is a complete and total cultural upheaval. So the humaning is difficult. I think the first little bits of my soul that were swimming their way across the Pacific have clawed their way back into my body sometime last night. So today, which was good timing because I had a job interview this morning. Well, thank goodness for small things that go right in 2020. Hi, yes, hello, I'm back now, and it is time to be back on my Monday stream, which is art and astronomy and all of the wonderful ways that they fuse together. So today, I have stuff planned, but not a whole lot. I thought it would be good to just, first of all, say hello. Hi, I missed you. Well, sort of. I mean, I was having fun with my family, but we'll say it because it sounds nice. And now we're kind of zooming into the fall and programming is starting. So what all things do we want to talk about for the fall? That's actually one of the big things that I wanted to kind of talk about today, is what's coming up in the fall. And if you have ideas or suggestions or proposals or things that you want to see, this is a good time to share them. That was an interesting pause, but I was looking for the word. So I can see your responses in the chat. I do have a couple of guests that are coming mid-month, end month, October, that is. And a very exciting guest for November, if that works out, cross your fingers. So I do have guests, and they're very, the three that I have in mind that I think will work out are very diverse. One, for example, is a stained glass artist, and I think that will be very interesting to talk to her. And another is another Pakistani artist that I found. So yeah, that's going to be really cool. Definitely, if you know of people that are doing really interesting space-related work, pass them my way. I would love to have some new ideas for guests. So I'm also thinking that for the fall, I might do some more creative-based work as well. I mean, I think here in Pakistan, we are not that far away from live performances again, which is like, honestly, the best news that I've heard in years. Just, I miss being on stage. It's like not having a limb or something like this. But I do want to, work more creatively, and I think it's interesting for me to start to like blend in the scientific astronomy concepts into my artistic work. So one of the things, I went through this, I posted on Discord, must have been like a month or two ago, asking for ideas. And I think it was Planetary Pan who suggested zodiac-based performances, like zodiac constellation themed history performances, art. So for example, like if I was talking about a particular constellation, then it might be a little bit of history, kind of where it came from, maybe some of the other names that it goes under in different cultures, and some of the myths behind it, some of the art based around it, and then maybe some performances based on that. And I think that'd be kind of cool to like package constellations into these little, like, you know, history, cultural art performance sort of thing. So if that's interesting to you, also let me know. But yeah, so tell me, yeah, just let me know in the chat if you have other suggestions, or if you think any of those sound like good ideas or not good ideas. Yeah, I mean, definitely if you prefer more guest-based shows, I could try to do that more as well. I did, at some point, I've been talking a lot about eclipse art. And I was going to separate it into a bunch of different shows. And I just kind of realized that it was going to take a lot more research and time and like trawling through articles and stuff that I didn't necessarily have time to do. I feel like it's more of a research topic than it is like a short show. But I'll keep it in mind. I mean, if people are still really interested in it, I did have my August 17th guests, Jay Pasishoff and Roberta Olson. Basically, their book is all about not just eclipse-related art, but generally astronomical phenomenon-related art. Wait, how do I say this? Somebody has subscribed, and I owe you a happy dance, but I'm trying to figure out how to say your name. Savarte Maya, maybe? Anyway, thank you for subscribing. So here's your happy dance. So thank you for subscribing. So basically, the eclipse art, I have not figured out how to put it into a episode or multiple episodes, or somehow to like make it cohesive and work for this little, you know, show that I do for coffee. So that's why it hasn't appeared yet. If you do have ideas for how to make it work, I'm open to suggestions. As Roy says, I love that Jay Pasishoff and Roberta Olson presentation. Thank you, Astrowise. I am hoping, they said something about updating, like a new updated edition of their comet book, which is comets in art history. And they were going to do some updates on that. And so when that comes out, I will definitely invite them back and talk about the comets. I did read, actually, they were kind enough to give me a PDF copy of their book, Cosmos, and I read it, all of it, all like 300 pages of it. And it's fascinating, and it covers really just this whole spectrum of astronomical phenomenon and how it appears in art history and some of the significant events, and also how astronomers can learn from the art and use it to kind of date and understand what was happening when. And it was just very, very, very informative. So definitely, I would recommend that book if you were able to get it. That's kind of what I'm thinking for the fall. Just maybe a little bit more creative work and a few guests here and there, maybe every other week or something like this. I realized this was I don't know if you would call it a crisis, but I realized when I was on the way back that this year is almost over, which I know is like good for people who are tired of 2020, which includes me, fair enough. But it's also that the year is almost over, and it's like, whoa, I have to deal with a year end now. I have to just like mentally prepare for that. So we have like 3 months left to just explore some really wonderful art and astronomy. Esther Weiss says, Roberta also sounded like she had a lot to say. Yes, definitely. I think she did. And fortunately, we were just, she just didn't have a good connection that day. And she had to leave because her internet was getting fixed, actually. So I'm really hoping, that's one of the reasons that I'd like to have them back, because I think I'd love to have her there the whole time as well. Wolfenstein says, one thing you mentioned in the last time I saw you when you talk about ethic and morale, and I love your opinion about it, how to deal with this new technology and space exploration. I don't know with this subject, you can also interact with art. So I did have a couple of guests, Nahum and Adine, that as part of their work, were also working on the cultural utilization of space. And along with that work, they were also thinking about some of these questions of ethics and morality. I don't know currently about kind of putting that in regularly. It just happened to come up because of the guests that I was talking to, but I also found it a really, really interesting discussion. And I think definitely if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I would say definitely follow Nahum. I think his Instagram is Nahum Artist. And because he is giving a how we ethically use space in this. So I think that's quite interesting. Definitely, it's an interesting corner. And I personally think that something that it's really, really good to talk about is that, cultural utilization of space. So, as artists and cultural and, art makers and cultural people, a cultural species, how do we think about that aspect of space exploration? Because it's very lacking currently in the rhetoric and in just the general idea of it. Yeah, so probably I'll do the constellation stuff unless I have a better idea. Currently, I am just trying to be a human again, so I don't have a whole lot of wonderful ideas, but I'm sure, this is me being an eternal optimist, I am sure that when I am like, my soul is completely in my body again, I will have all kinds of ideas. Also, I've recently acquired this teeny tiny little digital projector, and I'm interested. Okay. Hi, chat. I accidentally, somebody hit a button and I accidentally went away. I'm actually here. I'm still here. Probably I was in the middle of a sentence and I don't know what the sentence was. So help me out, chat. what was I saying? What was I talking about? I do know that the VRB was activated. The chat said. So I doubt that whatever I was saying was terribly important, but whatever it was, let me know. Oh yes, the projector. So I was saying that I've recently acquired this little tiny digital projector, and I'm excited about the possibilities that it gives me to project things and do performances involving projections. Probably it's like technologically irresponsible to add another element, but hey, there you go. So with all of that in mind, and kind of that's my game plan for the next 3 months. If you guys, if there, I'll have to sort of mull around the idea of doing some more stuff on that cultural utilization of space. If it's interesting, I'll chew on that. Constellations for sure, gets for sure. Today, I figured it would be kind of fun to break back into the swing of things by doing what I do, which is perform. So it's, I mean, considering that I have not worked out in a long time and I've not really danced in a long time, but hey, we're all here in this together and you guys are a supportive audience, so I'm sure it'll be fine. On the way back to this side of the world, one of my flights was Los Angeles to Doha. And so on the way across the world, we flew north, as you do. And we were flying at night, technically, wherever we were, it was dark. And I noticed, I was kind of peering out the window because I couldn't sleep, I had too much coffee. And I noticed kind of out the window, there was this eerie luminescent green thing. And so I was kind of looking at it, trying to figure out what it was. I was like, maybe that's dawn, I'm not sure. I don't think dawn is green, but I don't know. And as we kind of kept flying, I realized that probably it was the Northern Lights. And then, you know, I guess we got into a patch of it or something. And I started to see kind of the gradations of, you know, the ribbons, basically. How do you call it? How do you talk about this stuff? The ribbons, kind of the bottoms of these Northern Lights. It's really hard to describe. I was first looking out the window because I realized that there was tons and tons of stars, and I was trying to figure out what it was. And I noticed that the Big Dipper was pointing up, which I thought was super interesting because normally it's not. I didn't take a picture. I tried, but I didn't. Basically, so what happened is that I just spent the next hour, and I kid you not, it was an hour, either with the blanket kind of making a tent over the window or with my hoodie like against, you know, against the window, trying to cut out the reflective light from inside the plane and just watch the lights. And it was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. And you know, there was a couple bands that we flew like right under that. I was able to see the fluctuations of the ribbons, and even it was close enough that you could see the color variation. So it's like the bottoms were tinged in pink and then it was more green. And I just thought that it was just really, really beautiful. It was very serene. It was very eerie. And I was really inspired by it. So I figured, as Hex has already suggested, that I would try to describe it in movement, which is, I mean, yeah, well, we'll try. All things considered. So I do, of course, there is a David Joseph Wesley track, which is called Northern Lights. I figured there must be, so I went looking for it and I found it. And so I figured I'd just do a short little experiment in trying to become a human northern light. So that's what we're going to do. So this is what the BRB screen is actually for. And so we're going to go to that for hopefully just a couple of minutes while I get things set up over here. And then we'll have some northern lighting. So I'll see you in just a couple of minutes. Let me just pop to be right back while I set back up the other side. So that was an experience, experience. I think what was interesting for me about watching the Northern Lights is that it was so serene from a distance, but then the closer you got to it, you could see all these teeny little fluctuations and colors and ribbons appearing in and out, and they were so transient. They would come in and out of the light, but then you stepped away and they were almost unmoving, like you could barely see the changes just sort of as they evolved. And I just thought it was really cool and really beautiful to watch. So those were some of the things that I was trying to do. You guys are very kind about, you can't tell. Here's the thing, this is what I know. You can't tell that I'm out of practice. I can tell, because it was like, that was 4 minutes and I'm tired. And that doesn't usually happen. But thank you everybody for your kind words. I appreciate it. Thank you, Wise, for the bits. That's amazing. Thank you so much. There's your happy dance for the bits. Got a little flowery. Here's your Northern Lights dance for the bits. So that's really all I have for you today. Oh, more bits. Oh my gosh. 110. Wow. Hang on a minute. Thank you, Art and Stro, for the bits. That's amazing. You guys, your bits and subscriptions are what keeps this show rolling in at CosmoQuest. So somebody will put links in the chat for how you can donate and get involved. We are here because you support us. And there are some great events coming up, such as the Hangout-a-thon and the Hangout-a-thon. I was going to say the Observe the Moon Night, but that happened already. Oops. So definitely do keep in touch, support us. As far as I know, there's a daily space coming up in 2 hours. There's a daily science news roundup. And I will be back next Monday. Again, remember, if you have ideas, suggestions, or thoughts for what you'd like to see on this Astronomy Art Mix-Up show, do let me know. And thank you so much for joining me this Monday. I'm glad to give you a little bit moment of peace for your Monday. I know that the hour that I spent watching those things on the plane was the best hour of that 15-hour flight. I just loved it. It was just such a wonderful experience. I don't have it in videos or pictures, so the best that I can do is just dance it out. So thank you for coming and joining me today, and come back for the daily space at this very address in cyberspace, and see you next time. Bye-bye.